What's up, people? How you doing? Today it's gonna be another great video. I would hope, and I hope you guys like it. I'm going to do like I've always said in my last video, and I'm going to give you a story dealing with my very own paranormal experiences, whether it be UFOs or ghosts, and I have a million of them. Okay. And I'm gonna do segments, each time they're gonna be different. They're not gonna be in the same category. Like I'll be talking about my ghostly experiences on one video, and then the next one I'll add UFO experience along with the story that I'm gonna read for you. Now today, the story I got for you as far as what I experienced is a UFO experience that I had in Reston, Virginia. Yes, I talked about my time in Reston, Virginia in my last video. So I've had a lot of experiences there. I told you that one time before. And the story today is going to be on a guy named Tucker Hipps. That's Hipps. All right, but to start off, this happened when I was, of course, living in Virginia. And I was taking up Taekwondo lessons at a very huge strip mall. It was called Charlie Lee Karate. Giving you a plug just in case one of you guys is watching my videos. I was a green belt at, well, let me see. I'm not sure exactly where I was as far as the belt that I achieved, because I got up to a green belt, and that lasted for an entire year. I might have been a yellow belt, maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I can't remember. But okay, so it was the end of class. It was at night, and my mom had came to pick me up from class. I was still in my karate gi. I get inside the car. We take off. We driving back home. I look up and just happened to see the moon in the sky. And it was huge. It was bright, round and just huge. And it looked exactly like the moon. Okay. I think it was so bright I couldn't really tell if there was any. I couldn't really tell if you could see the craters on it. I probably could. I just didn't really think about it, but that sucker was bright, and I'm thinking it was a harvest moon. I didn't know anything about a harvest moon. I've heard about it, but I never actually seen one at that time. I was 17 years old. I really didn't care about all that stuff, but it was a very bright moon, or at least that's what it looked like, and it pretty much did everything that the moon always did. Because when you look up in the sky and you're driving on the road, it almost looks like it's following you, because it never seems to leave its position, but it always seems to be there no matter where you go. It's not like you can drive and leave it behind you. It's always there. It follows you almost, because it's just that huge. So you can't really get around it. Okay, so we get on my street. We go, we turn into my complex, which was Charter Oaks Court in Reston, Virginia. And we get in. My mom parks the car. I get out. She's going inside, and I happen to look up, and I still see that huge orb in the sky that looked exactly like the moon. I'm still trying to debate if I actually saw the craters in the moon, or if it just looked so bright you couldn't really see it. I'm not sure. I just know it was there, and there were two bright stars right in behind it on each side. One here and one here. I go inside. I change out of my karate gi, and I'm going to put my clothes back on. All of a sudden, I get this voice in the back of my head saying, "Hurry up and go outside, quick, hurry up." So I get up, I get my clothes on real fast, and I run back outside. I look up in the exact same spot where that moon was supposed to be, okay? And when I look up, it was gone. Now, keep in mind, it was a very clear night that night. There was not a cloud in the sky. The stars were everywhere. And it was gone. I was like, what the hell? I was blown away. I could not believe that I'm looking at the moon, but it was gone. So, but this is the way it gets even crazier. Seconds after I happened to look up and see that star, see that the moon was gone, I just happened to look straight up, and there's these two blinking lights blinking in this sequence. Blink, 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 blink. Just like that. Okay, and I'm looking up, and it's turning like this because it was facing like a star here and a star here, and it turned real slow, and it was right over my head, so it didn't make a sound. And the one thing I noticed about UFOs that most people probably don't really think about is that we're talking about a metallic object that is being covered up by the darkness of the sky. Now, in the daytime, you see the UFO because the light is bouncing off of it. So you can see the shape of it, you can see the color of it, and see the fact that it's metallic, right? But at night, it's a little different. The night sky is covering it, so you can't see the dimensions of it. You can't see the shape of it at all because it's almost like a cover. You know, they use that as a camouflage so that you can't see what it looks like. And all you see is the lights, unless it is being bombarded by the Earth's gravitational field as it passes through it, because you know, like I said, it's traveling in space, and when it's traveling in space, it's being bombarded with all that radiation coming from nebulas and stars and all that stuff. There's a lot of that stuff going on in space. Okay, so when it hits the Earth's magnetic field, boom, it lights up because it's reacting to the energy coming from the Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so I'm seeing these lights, right? And it's moving slow this way, and in that direction is the front of the complex. Then there's the street, and there's the park that's right across the street from my complex. And then after that, there's another apartment complex right behind the basketball court. And after that is a 7-Eleven. Okay, so I'm following it, and I know where everything is. I've lived there for about what, 2 years, maybe close to 3, and I'm following it. This is like, I want to say probably like maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and it's in the summertime, I believe. And Virginia is a huge hotspot for UFOs. Just in case you're wondering, you know, anyone that's ever lived there, they'll know if they know what they're looking, if they know what they're either looking for or looking at. Okay, but anyway, so I'm following these lights, right? And I'm seeing them still blinking, and it's moving real slow, not making a sound, and it's moving in that direction. So I follow it. I'm looking up and I'm following, and it's like right over my head, so I can see it, you know. And it's not like it actually knew that I was there. You know, sometimes I hear people saying how when it starts to move and they know you're actually monitoring it, it actually stops moving just so it won't record. If you're recording, you're not going to get any action out of it. It's almost like they're linked to every mind on the planet. But it's moving over the the basketball court, and it's moving over the complex. I get all the way to the back of the complex across the street, and I actually go into this little trail that leads to another street, which also leads to the other side of this main road where 7-Eleven is. And right before I could actually get into that area, there was a patch of clouds overhead, and it went over those clouds and disappeared, you know, over it, and that was it. So after that's the only thing I can do. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't follow it anymore because I didn't know where it was going to be going. I mean, there was a big patch of clouds, and I didn't see no breaking, you know. So I just turned around and went back home. So that was my experience with a UFO at that point in time, you know. So I'm gonna cut them short. I'm not gonna add more than one UFO story or ghost story because I want to keep it going. I want to spread them out so it'll be a lot more to tell. Because of some of my old videos that I had when I first started this channel, I compiled every story into like one big video, which I shouldn't have done. I mean, I'm not saying I shouldn't have done it, but I wanted it to last, and I didn't think about it until after the fact. It was too late. So that's why I'm doing an update of all of my experiences with ghosts and UFOs. I even got some stories of what I went through living in my house. Okay, so it's like wherever I go, it's ghosts are in tune to my brainwaves, so I can hear them and see them, you know, or hear what they doing, like, you know, banging on the walls or knocking on doors and stuff like that, you know, or banging their knuckles onto my headboard really hard. That's a whole nother story. I'll save that for later. But anyway, that's my experience on UFOs. The next one will probably be about my ghostly experiences in Virginia because I had more than one. Okay, well, actually, yeah, I got another one, but I'm gonna save that for my next video. But anyway, on to the story of the hour, and it is about Tucker Hips. All right. Now, Tucker Hips went missing on 09/22/2014 at 1:45 p.m. in Clemson, South Carolina. I hope that's what they're saying, South Carolina, because I know every time I see an abbreviation, I always get it wrong when I actually read into the entire story. But I think it is South Carolina. Okay, he was 19 years old when he disappeared. Now, Clemson University has a beautiful campus that sits on Lake Hartwell. I was actually at the campus last year when my daughter competed there in a regional rowing competition of Indiana University. The setting could not have been more beautiful. Tucker Hips was a church-going young man, a member of the Rock Springs Baptist Church. He was a 2013 graduate of Wren, that's W-R-E-N, Wren High School in Piedmont, South Carolina. So I was right. Of course, I don't know any other abbreviations that says SC, so that was my first and very best guess. But anyway, okay. Oh yeah, okay, South Carolina. Okay, Tucker was athletic and played on the football team. Tucker was a 19-year-old Clemson sophomore on September 22nd, 2014, when he went with 30 other pledges on a volunteer run with a Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity. Okay. That's the first time I ever heard of a fraternity like that. Normally you hear like Sigma Phi Gamma. Well, that's the first time I ever heard of Epsilon. But what can I say? Every state is different. You know, they have different names for different stuff. But anyway, okay, the group started the run at 5:30 a.m. and the group slowly got pulled apart over a long distance. Tucker started to fall behind, and others lost sight of him when the group was running over the Seneca River, or the Seneca River Bridge near Highway 93. The bridge has 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, with each direction of travel having their own bridge separated by 8.5 feet between the structures. The Seneca River flows beneath the bridge. Fraternity members arrived back home and realized that Tucker didn't return. They sent members back through the route of the run to look for their pledge. Nobody could locate the young man. At 1:45 p.m., Tucker was reported as a missing person. Oh boy, not good, not good. Okay, the bridge and Tucker do have history. Oh, okay. His family reported that he had been in and around that structure over 100 times because his grandmother had a house on the lake in that vicinity. Once Tucker was listed as missing, the search was on. At approximately 3:45 p.m. on the first day, a Clemson University police officer was walking the Seneca Bridge when he believed he saw a body in the water. He called for assistance, and they recovered Tucker's body. It was in water approximately 4 feet deep and 9 feet from the shore. The coroner's office stated that Tucker died from head injuries consistent with a fall. They stated that the manner of death was pending. Autopsy reports in South Carolina are considered personal information and are not dispersed to the public. Oh, that's new. Never heard of that before. The family asked that the toxicology report not be released. And if they're asking for it not to be released, I'm thinking it's because they are religious. Because in my last story, I stated that one of the family members were religious and they didn't want them to do an autopsy report. I'm still trying to figure out why that is, because I know in some religions they can't do certain things. You know, like I've heard Muslims can't do certain sexual acts. Yeah, okay. That's a new one for me too. But much respect for religion. I don't want to down anyone's religion in any kind of way. I don't want nobody to say that I am talking bad about them. And I just lost the page. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I let the darn page close. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to get back to it as fast as I can. I can't believe this. Oh, I'm almost there. Here we go. I got it. All right, here we go. Okay. Let me get back to my spot. Okay. Oh, okay. It was okay. I did that part. The coroner's office stated that Tucker died. Okay, they stated in the medical death autopsy report in South Carolina. Okay, here we go. Family. I got that too. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I get back to the right spot. Here we go. The question that everyone is asking: how did Tucker end up in the water? And that's what I'm asking too. If he just fell behind and all of a sudden, boom, he wasn't there, or poof, rather. Okay. There were rumors around the Clemson campus that Tucker's death was a fraternity prank gone wrong. It's a possibility, but given the evidence as far as him ending up at point A to point B, and that's it. It's got to be a lot more to that. But I'm just saying. Okay, let me see. Yeah, the police chief stated that he interviewed dozens of witnesses and nobody I hate these big words. Substantiated. Substantiated. I'm sorry. Substantiated the rumors that the death was related to hazing. Okay, first of all, I have seen news reels on hazing. Now, there was a story about a young black man that was hazed at he was either a college football player or a high school football player, and he was hazed. Did he die from that? I'm not completely sure, but I don't remember anything about a death. I mean, he may have been beaten to death, possibly because of the hazing. I'm not sure. Or he died from the injuries. I would have to look that up just to make sure that that's exactly what happened, but I'm not completely sure because this happened like maybe 2-3 years ago. So that's anybody's guess as to what actually happened in that scenario, but I will look into that just to make sure that I've heard of hazings that turned deadly. Never heard of that. Maybe it does. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there were rumors. Okay, yeah, there were rumors. There were other rumors that Tucker was so far behind that he tried to jump from one bridge to another and fell into the river. Okay, that makes no sense. I mean, whatever. Okay, this is again just a guess. It is another case when someone was last in line and disappeared, which is a very known fact in these cases. You fall behind, poof, something happens to you, and then you end up in a river a couple of days later with no sign of death on the body. Okay, this is fact in many of the cases I've written about in my books. The fact that Tucker's parents don't want toxicology reports released can only mean there was some substance in his system they don't want us to know about, or they could be religious. Because the last story that I read talked about the same thing, where the parents didn't want them to do an autopsy report because of their religion, which still kind of bakes my brain because I've never heard that before. I heard of a lot of things that they can't do if they're due to their religion, but I'd never heard of something like that. I had to look into that too, because that is something that I am not fully aware of. But I try not to touch religion because that kind of puts a stain between you and the person that you're talking to, whether it be a friend or family member or even just a fan on YouTube. So I don't touch that. I really don't. Okay. Did I say that? Okay. If it is a controlled substance or alcohol, it places this case in the mix with all others I've written about in the book. In this book. This is one of those cases that completely baffles me. I'd like to know if Tucker was wearing all of his running clothes and shoes when found. This case didn't just baffle and confuse me. On January 30th, 2015, excuse me, I hate that little twinge in the back of your throat. Okay, Sheriff Mike Crenshaw from the Oconee County Sheriff's Office. Oh, geez, come on now. I hate yawning when I'm trying to read. It happens all the time. Okay, Sheriff's Office held a press conference on the Tucker Hips case and stated, "We've got the greatest mystery in the world we have to solve. I don't know what happened to Tucker, but I can guarantee that whatever happened was highly unusual." Well, it's like he said in the past that some law enforcement agencies won't say anything, and if they do say anything, it's a total lie because they don't want people to think that they don't know what's going on or they can't solve the problem. So they come up with a backup plan and just say it was accidental drowning because he was coming from a party and he fell into the river, or he died from hypothermia, whatever. But it is very safe to say that they do that. But in some cases, there are some law enforcement officers, detectives mainly, who dig very deep into the evidence dealing with the deaths of these people that are found in bodies of water and don't have no cause of death on the body. They didn't even mention the fact that they were found in their clothing or that they were just either naked or had just had their underwear on. They didn't mention none of that. But at the same time, I can say this. There is a lot going on here, people. A lot. There are a lot of key points to all of these cases. If we break them down, we can see that a lot of these cases have merit, and a lot of these cases are very similar because of the evidence. Number one, you got college-age young men going to a bar with friends to have some fun. You drink, you have fun, you joke, you laugh, you dance, whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, out of the blue, they say, "You know what? I'm getting tired. I'm gonna go home." Or, "I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna go home." Now, every single one of these cases that I read about, every single person, and of course the males, they are never driving home. They either walk into the bar with friends or the friend is driving them and they say, "I'm going to go home," and they walk. Now, it's a good chance that they live maybe a mile away from the bar, maybe. But even if it doesn't happen to you, I'm not going to be walking at night in the street back to my house knowing I just had something to drink. So your thinking pattern is going to be a little off. You're not going to be at 100%. Because the alcohol does mess with your mind, and I won't say it distorts you. Even if you just drunk a little bit, you're not going to be thinking clearly in a lot of areas. You're going to make blunders. You're going to make mistakes. I know, I've been there. Okay, so you got people who will be in the bar, men, college age. They have fun, they drink a little bit, and they leave because they're feeling tired or they're not feeling well. That means they're getting a little nauseous or sick, whatever the case. I don't know. And then these same people that want to walk home instead of waiting for their friend to take them home, they disappear out of the club and they walk home. And between point A and point B, they're gone. Anywhere between 2 weeks to 52 days. I don't know how many days that is. But the point is, you're gone for a certain amount of time. Whether it be 14 days, 52 days, whatever the case may be. You always end up in the body of water in the same fashion and in the same position. Face down 90% of the time, or face up, I'd say about maybe 10% of the time. And they, a person that they may be walking by with a dog, or it could be a groundskeeper, they find the body of that person in the water. When the police come, they take it to the coroner's office, they realize something. There is no sign of death on that body. There's no stab wounds, there's no bullet holes, there's no torture marks on the body, no ligature. It's just a dead body. What could that be? Will you be able to figure that out? Do you have a theory? And if you do, think about it. Your theory is the answer. The only reason why I say that is because these are strange occurrences, and the evidence is very strange. What criminal do you know that would kill a person takes the time to do the things that whatever this thing does to people when it kills it? There is no criminal on this planet that I know of that can kill a person without touching them. Okay, a friend of mine at work said that maybe they had on rubber gloves, and that's a true factor because there's no fingerprints. But at the same time, you also got to realize something else. If they were to kill a person with gloves on, they still would have to use a weapon of some kind. Okay? There's no sign of any use of a weapon. That means there would have to be some marks on the body. Okay? Even if you used rubber gloves to strangle a person, there's still going to be strangulation marks on the neck. If you try to do anything else other than that, it would have to be done intravenously, or you would have to pour something down the person's throat for them to just swallow it forcefully. And then they die. It's like, say, if they fed them poison or put GHB in the body so that they can subdue them. They'll see what's going on. They'll hear what's going on, but their body can't move because it's being immobilized. So, in that case, you can't say that the person was wearing rubber gloves because they would still have to kill them in a manner that would leave evidence. If you strangle them, you're going to see strangulation marks on the body, but you're not going to see any fingerprints. Okay? If you use a weapon of any kind with the rubber gloves on, the only thing that's going to happen is you're not going to leave any fingerprints on the weapon. But you're going to show evidence of you killing that person with the weapon, like a knife, even if it's a fork that you ram into the person's neck to puncture their vocal cords or something like that, to where they'll probably choke to death on their own blood. It would still leave marks. And it's not a gun, because the gun you wouldn't leave fingerprints on the gun, but it would still show that you killed that person with a gun because the bullet hole would be in the body. So you look at all those options and you eradicate them, because none of that makes any sense. None of that is a part of the evidence. Okay? Number 2. You got people who go to national parks. And this is where it gets weird. They're either jogging on a trail, camping at a camp site where there's cabins and all that stuff in a big lake, or that's mainly it. They go there to jog, to camp or hunt. There you go, hunt. Okay. But when these people, let's say they traveling, they doing the same thing over and over again for years. They traveled into that forest. They traveled into the national park to enjoy to enjoy nature, and they've been doing it ever since they was a kid. All of a sudden, out of the blue, poof! Out of all the times that they've been going to that national park or national forest, they disappear without a trace. Okay, and it's almost like whatever this is waiting just that long to it. It messes with our head. That's what it is. Okay, someone did say that it could be because it's well orchestrated, and it is. But they orchestrate it in a way to mess with our minds. They know how we think. They know that whatever they do to that person, the evidence is going to be there as far as what they did to the person. They killed it. They killed the person. But the evidence doesn't show how they killed him. The evidence doesn't show what killed him. That's the only big part of these cases. But we start to think beyond logical thinking. We start to say, okay, there is no cause of death on the body. So how else did that person die? Then your mind starts to go beyond the way people think from what they were taught in school about that kind of stuff. law or law enforcement. Okay, you start to think beyond that. You start saying, okay, what other way could a person be killed but there's no cause of death? That's where I come in. That's how I start to think. And I'll say something like, if that person was killed and there's no cause of death, what other way could they die without a person or some type of being touching them? The only thing I can think of at that point is their energy was drained out of their body. And I'm thinking they feed off of energy. Whatever this being is, it feeds off of energy. That's their food. They feed off of energy and it keeps them alive. They can feed off of your energy to the point where your body is so drained of your energy, you just die because you don't have enough energy to keep yourself alive, to take a huge breath to bring yourself back, to let the air into your lungs, or to do anything. Your body is just limp to the point where your heart stops. There's no muscle contraction. There's nothing. Okay? Your heart slows because you have no energy in your body, and then you just die. Now, would there be some sort of trauma to the lungs from trying to breathe, or constriction in the neck from you trying to suck the air in, so you tighten up your throat and you can't breathe? You ain't got no energy to open up anything in your body. It could be a number of things, but that's never shown. And what else? Your spirit. It could be some sort of being that stole your soul or your spirit energy. Okay, there's spirit energy, which is your chi. Some people call it your chakra. The Hawaiians call it mana. It could be anything. Your spirit energy, the essence of your life force, your soul, all of that. Now, coincidentally, there's a guy named Captain Randy Kramer. He was on Coast to Coast AM probably somewhere during the middle of the year, maybe around the summertime. I was listening to him, and he was saying that the government has technology that the aliens, the Greys, call soul science, where they can actually, or soul extraction, where they can literally extract your very soul out of your body and put it into like some type of container, because it's your soul is like what did he call it? Oh man, what's the term he used? Quantum. I think he called it quantum fluid. It's a quantum fluid. He said it's like kind of wavy and thick, kind of like sparkly gel almost, I guess. And that's what he called it, a quantum fluid. And they're able to extract it from your body, leaving your body as a lifeless corpse, put it in some type of container, create a clone, and use your quantum fluid, your soul, and put it in that clone. Now, I'm not saying that the government has something to do with all these people coming up missing and never found. I'm not saying they have anything to do with a person dying and being placed in a body of water with no cause of death on the body. But that seems to be the initial clue to all of this. What else could make a person die and not leave any evidence behind? There's one other thing, but I'm going to stay on this part right here. Something is able to extract your soul from your body and eat it to survive off of it. It probably feeds on soul energy. It feeds on your body's energy. It feeds on energy alone, which could be a reason why phones are always going dead. It sucks the energy out of the phone and it dies. Now, also, there is a lot of UFO evidence stating how, like, when you driving in your car, and all of a sudden there's a UFO overhead, and next thing you know, your car just shuts down, just like that. It's kind of like an instant EMP that they have built into the flying saucer. They use that to shut down your car.
Now, are they going to take you? I don't know. It could just be something that they do, something that happens with the kind of energy that ship is being powered off of. It shuts down your car. It drains the energy. But it's some sort of dampening field, or not so much it drains the energy from the car, because right after the UFO is gone, your car comes back on. So it's some sort of dampening field that can shut down anything. Even the electrical system in a car. And the same thing with phones. Phones don't seem to act right when you're trying to take a picture of a UFO, because they use some sort of EMP device, or some sort of dampening field that stretches out for thousands of miles and shuts down any phone, or makes it act up. Like you see snow, or it just shuts off, or it drains, and then that's it, your phone shuts off. And the same thing with camcorders. You see a lot of the little streaky snow that be on the camera when you're trying to record stuff. It does all of that. So for a person to actually die in a manner that doesn't leave any evidence whatsoever, I would think that's the reason why, because something is able to extract your soul from your body, or extract your energy. The energy that it takes for you to stay alive, the energy it takes for your heart to pump, all of that is gone. Now, what gives us the energy that we need to stay alive? I don't know, but when we get tired, what happens? We get drained from overexerting ourselves, and then we just want to fall asleep and just take a nap for a couple of hours, and then we wake up. What boosts our energy? Our body recharges. When we sleep. Because I had a problem with my thigh, where I did something. I hit a dip in the grass, and I came down on it so hard that it messed up my thigh right in the center. So I'm guessing the muscles being so pressed upon each other like this. And this is my thigh. So I guess with the bone and the pressure from that hit, it probably caused a sprain in the center of my thigh, and I couldn't walk for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But when I slept, each day that pain was going away. And also helped because I was taking some hydrocodone, 3 different pills that made me feel like a euphoric feeling where I didn't care about nothing. It was the best feeling on the planet, but I wasn't messing with that stuff. I took it that one time at the hospital, and I just took everything one at a time, but I only took 1 pill to make me fall asleep. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. The whole point is, that's my theory on that part. But also, I've said this before, do the coroner's office check to make sure the brain is in the body or in the skull. Now, Elizabeth Morgan told me that they do that. But if they found some evidence to state that the brain wasn't in the body, they wouldn't tell you anyway, because it's too weird. How are they gonna explain to the family that their brain is missing, but there's no entry point to where they could get at the brain and take it out of the skull, then put the skull back on the head? There's no cut marks on the forehead, just like in the TV show Heroes. If you ever seen it, you know how Siler was able to get at the brain? He would use some sort of force energy that came from his fingers, and he would go like this here, and use that force energy to cut a line straight across your forehead, all the way across until he's cut all the way around it. And he'll remove the top of the skull, the skull cap, and eat your brain to get the powers that you had. Now that's creepy enough as it is, but in that case, he had to open up the skull in order to get at the brain. These people, now if you think about Elisa Lam, how did she get in the tank? Now, if they couldn't get her out of the tank, how did she get in the tank in the first place? Think about that, people. They said that the hole was way too small for her to get in there. Number 1. Number 2, somehow she got in there and she was butt ass naked with her clothes swimming around her, along with her sandals. Okay, how did she get in there? How is it that she took her clothes off, then put the clothes in the water tank, and then she jumped in there with the clothes? Why would she do that? They said that she took medicine because I think they said she was. What did they say? I think they said she was bipolar or something. I forgot exactly what it was. I'd have to look at that again. But she was taking medication for that, but nothing else. She wasn't taking any drugs unless it was provided by her doctor. Okay. So she wasn't schizophrenic. She didn't do drugs. She didn't drink, but she did take medication for an ailment that she had. And think about it. That's another key point. Every person that has been taken had a problem, whether it was Down syndrome, or because I think they said that not Jared Adadero, but Dennis Martin, the little boy that was taken, back in the early 70s. He was kind of slow. I think he had, I won't say Down syndrome, but he had a learning disability, so he was kind of slow. And everyone that has been taken, they're either very, very, very smart, very intelligent, or they have a problem, a medical problem. Whether it's they can't walk, or they can't talk, or they have a mental problem, whatever the case may be, it's always that every single time. That is the key point to all these cases. Why are they taking these people? Why are they taking the smart people? Why are they taking, children with learning problems, or people who are deaf, or people who can't speak? Why are they doing that? It makes no sense. I guess it's easy for them to take them because they're not going to talk, they're not going to scream, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. I don't know. But I would think that they don't never see them coming anyway, so they don't have time to react. They walk right into a dimensional portal that is invisible to the naked eye, and poof, that's it. You're gone. Okay? So getting back to my theory about the brain part. If you look at what happened to Elisa Lam, somehow she was phased through that, I call it the Kitty Pryde technique from the X-Men. She's able to phase through solid mass and solid objects, metal, whatever. Okay? Now, somehow, some way they did that to Elisa Lam. They phased her through that tank and just left her there to die. How they killed her, I don't know. They didn't. There was no sign of death on the body, But she somehow got in that tank in a way that was impossible because she couldn't fit herself in it. She wasn't that thin. Number one. So something phased her through that tank. Now, as far as the people dying with no cause of death, the only thing I could think of other than what I said previously was something is able to reach inside the skull, phase their hand through the skull, and remove the brain. Therefore, you're making the brain intangible so that it can, or transparent enough for it to come through the skull, and they just remove it. That's my take on that. I don't know, but these are very weird cases, and these weird cases only have very weird evidence to go along with it. Therefore, you'll have very weird theories. Now, here's the problem. Theories also have to come with proof to rectify what you're talking about. The way I see it, I'm not saying you don't need facts. I'm not saying that. But you don't need proof, because the proof is coming straight from your mouth. When you start to think beyond beyond logical thinking, the only thing that's left is the impossible. And the impossible is the key. The unthinkable is the key. The unexplained is the key. The unknown is the key to all this. They know that they're not going to believe all of that high level, like, supernatural shit. They already know this. That's why they do what they do, because they know they're not, even if they figure it out, they're not going to believe it. They're going to say that's impossible. That's ridiculous. There's no way that can happen. That's why it's so easy for a parent to believe that their child was abducted or kidnapped by someone, not something. Or they'll say, "Oh, a mountain lion killed my son, ate my child." What mountain lion do you know can devour a body to the point where there's nothing left but the top of his cranium? And I'm not saying this to upset or disrespect Alan Atadero, but the case is weird, and he knows it. He said it in the interview that I saw. Okay, but there is still a lot of things about these cases that make no sense whatsoever, and that is the reason why they commit these acts of crime by killing someone in that manner, because they know we're never gonna believe it, even if we figure it out. We know that there's a such thing as aliens. We know there's a such thing as people being abducted. We know there's a such thing as Bigfoot and the Chupacabra and Dogman, all that stuff. All these things are real. But they are called mythological creatures, or folkloric creatures, or not real. Okay, so when we have that skepticism to back up everything that is actually real, the only thing that's going to happen is no one's going to really react to it, because they know it's all a fairy tale. It's just If we didn't see it, then that means it ain't real. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it ain't real. That's my take on that. That's what I believe. I can tell you right now, I've never seen Bigfoot. I've never seen the Chupacabra, Dogman. I've never seen Mothman. None of them people. I've never even seen the Goat Man. There's so many creatures out there that nobody can really believe that it's actually real. It's ridiculous. Even Pan. That's a half goat, half man. That plays a flute all the time. You know? What was that guy's name? Maccabee. Bruce Maccabee and his wife Jan Maccabee. She went through the same situation. She was in the forest, and she's a bow hunter, and she saw this creature in the trees that looked like the predator, but not. It didn't. I didn't mean physically. It looked like the predator, but remember how the predator was able to make himself transparent, or he can cloak himself, and you saw this little wavy outline of his body moving along the trees and in like on the ground and stuff like that. She said that's exactly what she saw, and she took a picture of it. Okay, I would show you the picture, but my phone is way over there. As a matter of fact, just give me 1 second and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm back. Now I'm gonna show you that photo that she took a picture of, and she took the picture on a BlackBerry. Okay, and they took it to an expert at the company that makes the phone, and he said there was no way she could have took that picture because of the pixels and the timing. But it's there, it's on the phone, but it's still very impossible. It just didn't make any sense. They said it was impossible for her to take that picture, yet there it is right there. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm going to show you guys. Okay. Now, this is the photo that she took on her phone. All right. Now, the idea of this photo is that you see that outline. I'm gonna try and blow it up here so you can see it. All right, here we go. Now, you see that outline there with that line, and see what it says? It says like the shadow outline of of the face. Okay. Now, see those little streaky things right there, and down here at the bottom. All those little streaks right here, that's the sunlight. Okay, and those streaks is hair. And it said the face is right here. So I'm thinking it could have been. Now, I've also heard that Bigfoot can make itself invisible to people to where you can't see them. So they might actually still be there, but they play with your mind to make you think that they're actually not there or they're invisible. So I'm thinking they do have the power to make themselves invisible. Because think about it. Bigfoot, nobody knows where Bigfoot came from. There is a rumor stating that aliens brought Bigfoot to this dimension from another reality, okay, and they've been here since since the Stone Age, and people are thinking that they are the missing link. They are the cavemen from back in that era, and they've been living on this earth for centuries. But that's, like I said, that's just a wild guess. I'm not completely sure. I don't have the evidence for that, but that's what has been said about that. But like I said, reality can stretch in so many directions. The unknown is a reality. The unexplained is a reality. And the unbelievable is reality. But it depends on who can believe that that's what that is. You have fiction, nonfiction, and science fiction. All this stuff, all the science fiction that you hear about in the movies and on TV shows, all that stuff had to come from something. A lot of these like movies about strange phenomena and fiction, science fiction, all this stuff, all them stories, all those ideas had to come from something that they heard about from way back when. I'm just saying. But the whole point of this whole story is something is taking people and making them disappear. So that means wormholes or portals leading to another dimension or another paler earth or another reality where On our Earth, science fiction on their Earth or their dimension is actually reality. Where there might be a Superman on another parallel Earth, on another reality. There might be a person who can use 100% of their brain. And I'm thinking that could be the reason why these people are being taken in such a manner. I'm thinking that it could be some next level serial killer who can operate 100% of his brain's capacity. That's my take on it. I call it the Lucy effect. If anyone's ever seen the movie starring Scarlett Johansson, where she was able to use 100% of her brain and turn herself into a living computer, which she, at the end, she turned herself into a little one of those little flash drives that had everything to know, everything there was to know about the universe itself. Okay, she basically became the universe, or she was a part of the universe, you know. But the whole point is, somebody out there is able to do things in a way that we can't even fathom. Okay, so I'm thinking that person can use 100% of their brain's power, or a certain percentage of their brain that we can't use. We can only use up to maybe 30% of our brain's capacity. I think anywhere between 25 and 35, I believe. But they can probably use 50, or maybe even close to 100, or maybe 100. That's why I'm thinking they're able to phase people through solid mass. I mean, look at what happened to Elisa Lam. Okay, she was phased through that darn tank and placed there. You know, what else could it be? Now, I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. There's a lot of people that don't believe in the supernatural. They don't believe in the unknown phenomena, all that other stuff, all that good stuff. But trust me, just because you don't believe in it, don't mean it ain't real. Okay, it's there. It's right in front of your face, like ghosts, Bigfoot, all that stuff. I've never seen Bigfoot. Now, there's a guy that was working with Les Stroud, and he called it Survivor Bigfoot. Okay, and the guy had file footage of Bigfoot up close and personal, where he was standing practically right in. Well, he was standing right in front of it, and you could see the face of this thing. It was just standing there watching him, and then all of a sudden the eyes blinked, and you're looking at this darn thing. Everybody kept trying to say that the video was fake or it was a CGI. Trust me, I've seen CGI before. I've watched a lot of movies. I watched a lot of CGI, and that was not CGI. That was totally real. And yeah, it could have been a person that was in a gorilla outfit. Do you know what a gorilla even looks like in the face? Trust me, that wasn't a gorilla. A lot of people said the same thing about the very famous video of this guy that had a video of a Bigfoot, a female Bigfoot, walking in this little open area where there was a lot of down like trees and everything, and it just walked into the forest. You know, and you can literally see the breasts on this female Bigfoot flopping as she's walking away. You know, and just the way it was walking, you know, how it used its upper torso to stride themselves across the dirt, the ground. And then they tried to say later on in years that they faked it. I don't believe that. I think they just did that because they were probably forced to say that, because nobody really wants them to have that kind of evidence to say that Bigfoot is real. I think the government alone is trying to keep that secret. That's how they try to keep the secret away from the public. When this guy, who was an explorer, went into a canyon, the Grand Canyon, and saw these like caves, these openings into these little caves where they had all these artifacts from China, Egypt, all that. And as soon as he went back to the Smithsonian and told them about it, he went back and they sealed it up with a big metal door. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, people, that is my time on this video. I don't taking up enough time already. And those are my theories. They're very strange and weird, but that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only way I think that these cases can be solved, because facts are very good, but the facts lead you to the way I'm thinking. It does. And if you have an open mind, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I know you do, because you're on my channel. So anybody that got an open mind, come on down. Come on over. I got some stuff for you. Really, 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 I do. But anyway, I got to go, guys. Enjoy this video, and I will probably make another one before the night's over, or I'll probably do one tomorrow when I get home, because I got to be to work by noon. So if I don't make another one tonight, I will see you guys tomorrow. And I still, once again, want to thank all of my fans. You guys, I love you guys so much. You've been supporting me. Everything about you, I just love. And got a surprise for you. Got another picture to show you. I've been working on some t-shirts that I wanted to use to promote my channel. And anybody that may want some, depending on how much I can get, how many I can get, anybody wants some, they can send me the information. I'll send you mine, and I can send it to you. This is a rough draft of how it would look. Insane Disappearances. That's one look, and then there's this one right here. You can see you got the same logo on it, you know, with the with the name on the side. So anybody that has seen the video, if you like either one of those t-shirts, let me know. You know, hit me up with a comment below, you know, and I will gladly see what I can do about what kind of shirts I can, what kind of logo I'm going to use. And if you want one to support me and to, you know, wear it around town so everybody can see what you be looking at and what channel to go to on YouTube, I'll be happy to send it to you. Just give me your information and we can do business. All right. So, like I said, once again, I really love you guys. I appreciate you getting me to the point where I want to get to with my subscriptions. I'm really glad that you guys are supporting me, and I will always have some very creepy stories for you to hear about on my channel. So, but like I always say in the past, keep it coming, because I want to get to 500 this time, and it's working. I'm at 115 now, so I'm still going. So I applaud to all my fans and all my viewers, and to you, KimStar66, you're the best. Love you. But yeah, so guys, just keep it coming, keep it going. You know, tell your friends about me, tell as many people as you can to come to my channel, get me at 500, and when I reach that goal, I want to get to 1,000, and so on. So I just want to keep on going. I want to keep it coming. So you guys know what to do, and you do your part and I'll do my part. You know what I'm saying? I will make sure I'll supply you guys with the kind of information you need to get from David Paulides' books. If you don't want to pay those absorbent prices by you living outside the U.S., you can always come here and I'll read you word for word what they, you know, from the book. So without further ado, I gotta go, guys. Yeah, I got more coming, so just stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled to my notifications. All right. So aloha, mahalo, and ahuyo. Peace out, guys. Be safe, be blessed, and have a great night.